Viewers, and welcome back to the Tobago Updates morning show, coming to you here live from the Port Mall in Scarborough, Tobago. Yes, viewers, we're heading on in to that final segment for this morning as we prepare, and we should have coming online with us Elizabeth Lady Montano, and the author of The King of Soca. And this morning we're speaking The King of Soca, not just about the book, but the Book Fest winner this morning. Good morning to you and welcome.
Good morning. Good morning. It's a pleasure.
All right. So as we get the conversation started, just as a gentle reminder to those who probably would not have tuned in when you visited us before, I want to start by chatting a little bit about, the genesis behind this book in terms of that you would have written.
Well, it started in 2018 or just before 2018. I was doing my degree, my postgraduate degree, my MPhil in cultural studies, and I did this for my thesis or my dissertation, and it was about the making of Monk Monty, which looked at Marshall's journey over the various eras. And um, and I decided that I wanted to write this book and share that information of the journey, the ups and downs, the pluses, the minuses, and everything, so that I can show people, especially young people, what it takes to be successful. You don't have to really follow exactly what Marshall did, but it is a good guide as to what you can do when you show certain positive work ethics, or when you have certain values that have been put in place and they are manifested. And I did so during the pandemic. I took 2 years and I wrote it, 40 years of Marshall's journey, and I launched it last year in July. As 1 year today,
Yes,
1 year today
correct.
the book was launched.
I
Yes.
remember that interview.
Now,
Yes,
Lady
yes.
Montano, you would be in a very unique position in that you didn't have to go to source information about your topic. You had you had insight. You were sitting in a seat of privilege where you saw your topic. In fact, from you knew your topic from conception to how many
Or
years
even before.
later. What is it
Yes.
about Marshall? And this is not, we don't want you to reveal, hidden secrets here, but what is it about him that is one of the myths about him? Maybe something that people believe that he's not, that you were able to reveal in the book.
Well, sometimes people feel that Marshall is frivolous, but Marshall is very, very serious. People feel that maybe Marshall got what he got easily, or maybe as some of them feel through the Soca Mafia. But in the book, we will see how much of that is not the actual truth, and they will also discover what has made Marshall the man, the person, the entertainer that he is. And I always tell everybody it's based on that foundation that was laid many years ago.
So this book, after being launched and put out there, has now been able to be the Book Fest winner. Tell us a little bit about that title and being able to attain that.
Well, remember again, a lot of work was put into it, and I use a lot of local people to assist me. So I had practice who is the designer or the graphics people behind it, and I had a lot of stuff that was gathered over the years through my archive, 40 years. So we had pictures, we had newspaper articles, we had, so I brought that whole thing to life, and I deliberately chose color because I said we can't tell our stories in black and white. The Caribbean is color. And I think that this is what excited the people when they saw it. And a lot of that is presented in the book, so that we won over maybe hundreds of people entering. And we took part in many categories, and we were finalists. The book was a finalist in four categories: in the biography, in the performance in terms of movies and music, in the cover, in cross genre, and we were there among the big publishers. I am self published, so I think maybe they were motivated by the story, but it was successful in the end, of which I am very thankful.
And what was your general feeling and mood by the time you knew that you were in the category, you knew that you were in the lineup, and when you got that confirmation that the book, yes, it had taken the win, with it? What was the feeling at that moment?
Well, it was one of many wins. It's a big award in terms of there are many people and many categories, right? And I was fortunate to be a finalist in four categories, which meant that they took six people, and from those six people, they chose the winner. And I was there among all those big writers. I'm a first-time writer, and then I actually won one of the categories. So I was very excited. I am very elated, and it happened on a night when we were celebrating with our chocolate company employees. So I was able to share with them, and we had a very joyful moment, and I think it was inspiring to them at that time. So we were all happy, and my grandchildren were there, and Marcus was there, and and all the factory employees. So we had a time, and it was great news, and I was very, very elated, as I said.
I'm particularly interested here in knowing what do you believe gave you the edge? Because you did indicate that you were a first time writer amongst the bigger writers, a small fish in a big pond. But what do you believe gave you that edge to emerge, to be able to emerge the winner?
Well, I think again it was the color, it was the excitement that the book presented in terms of all the visuals, all the images that could be there. And we had, for example, pictures of all Michelle's albums over the years, which mounted to about 50. And they were, very beautiful, they were very deep. So I think that whole different, it was a different look. It was a Caribbean look, it was a fresh look. And I think that is what caught their eyes. And then the story of Marcel's biography, which is extraordinary in the sense that he's 48 years of age and has been in the business for 41 of those years and has been able to sort of maintain that longevity that, is not really always there among entertainers.
As a
And
first
coming
time
from the
author,
Caribbean, the Caribbean is always excitement, so they just love the Caribbean.
I couldn't help but as a first time author, and I know you just mentioned the 40 plus years in the business, did you feel a moment of, when you were managing him back then, too young to Soca, the kind of success that was attained, similar to that now as a first time author, putting that life experience out there? Any comparatives were made?
But I am always excited by everything, no matter how small is it, so that in 1986, that excitement would have been just as great as now, because again, at that time, Marshall was one in a million, and he was really what you call a kind of enigma, because unknowing to the people, we never taught Marshall these things. Marshall always came up with his own ideas, and he was always saying, "Mommy, don't tell me because I'll get confused." And then we will sit there just as excited as the audience. And then when it happens, we share in that glory. Like I remember 1987 was a very big year for us. In 1987, Marshall was 12 years of age, and he became the first Trinidadian to ever win the Caribbean Song Festival. And when we heard it, boy, we jumped out of our seats, because here is a 12-year boy from Trinidad beating a number of professionals who came with their grand pianos, and they were three times his age, but he was able to capture that prize. And that was a great excitement. And everything presents itself to us. We are always humbled and always grateful and sharing the same kind of excitement.
Yeah.
Right. Certainly, and we want to say commendations are indeed indeed, because that you've done it here even with the book, just as you would have done with the man himself. But I can't have you in an interview like this and not ask about Marshall's reaction himself when he recognized that just like his career, that the book would have stood out and stood supreme telling that story. What was Marshall's reaction to this?
Well, again, as I said, same thing. We are always excited. Like we are family that share each other's success. We are there when the times are good and when the times are bad. We are there for each other. Even for our grandchildren and for our daughter-in-law. And every time somebody secures a positive, we always celebrate. And Marshall is very happy because he was able to contribute to, like you'll hear his voice in the book in terms of, I also interviewed him. So he is excited. And he's also saying, this book has a life. This book is going to live on because it tells the story of a young boy who was able to maintain a career, who started from basically nothing, and this was based on core values that were instilled in him. And I think that this also inspires him, and he's excited, as I said, and he will hug and we will celebrate together all the time. And I think it is a very, very warm moment for us all.
All right. As we close here this morning, just remind our viewers, for those who are now hearing about the book, where can they find this book? Where can they access? Where can they purchase?
Okay, so in Trinidad, we could buy this book in all the main bookstores in Trinidad and Tobago. We have the book in Tobago. You can also buy it online, www.marshallmontano.com/shop. And then we also have it in Jamaica because Jamaica was the place where I started my education in terms of university education. And it's the place where Marshall started his very first education at the age of 2. He went to school in Jamaica while Monty and I was studying there. And the book was also launched in Jamaica. So you can buy it in Jamaica in bookstores. And then you can buy it online. You can buy it in all our bookshops in Trinidad and Tobago.
All right.
Right. Yes, thank you so much. Thank you so much for chatting with us this morning, Lady Elizabeth Montano. Always a pleasure and all the best to you. Congratulations and all the best to you.
All
Thank
right.
you
Thank
very
you very
much. It
much
was a
again.
pleasure, always a pleasure talking to my sister Isle and the people there. I say morning and great day.
All right. Thank you very much again. And that's the author of The King of Soca, winning awards and titles. And certainly it lines up with the man himself.
Yeah, that's right.
Marshall Montano, really a successful career. And it's good, even going through the book, a gentle reminder of what he has been through in terms of that process and that understanding. It didn't just happen by guess and putting in that effort. One of the things I could always appreciate about Marshall is that constant effort to recreate in terms of putting himself out there. Folks, if you didn't know, I'm a lover of soca music from long time. Lover of soca and calypso.
I'm a
So
fan of
certainly,
Marshall
oh yeah,
Montano. Yes,
certainly
yes.
one of those things that I follow in terms of the entire entertainment industry. All right, but we gotta leave it there for this morning. We're just out of time this morning, and we're preparing to head on into Tobago notes and also to head over to GMT this morning. But let me make sure I do a quicker shout out on the live. I see in the mix with us Godfrey Moore, Heather Cook, Eric Powder, Portia Charles, Julia Brown, Russell Morrison in the mix this morning. I see my cousin out there as well, Gilbert O'Connor Jr. All right, on providing that support. Laverne Price in the mix. Pearl Murray Beard. Good morning to each and every one of you this morning.
And Julian, before we go, viewers, are you in need of car parts? Zurex Auto Limited, Branch Road, number 2, Glen Road, is your place to go. Walk in or call at 722-5746 or 280-5902. Zurex Auto for all your car part needs. Sale on all car parts now. So whatever it is, rims, chassis, hood. Come on, Julian, call it parts. Wipers, brakes, shocks, all your car part needs. check out Zurex Auto. And as well, Dad's Auto Parts and Accessories on location on Clark Trace, Signal Hill, currently offering sale on all car parts. Dad's Auto Parts and Accessories is your neighborhood auto supply, from oils to batteries and everything in between. Dad's Auto is your go-to guy. Julian, you were supposed to give me, come on, what are the parts of the car?
Indeed, Rhea, indeed. I say I didn't want to throw off your ad flow there at all.
My ad flow.
Didn't want to.
I was lost from rims.
It's never a dull moment here. Oswald George must be so proud. Never a dull moment here on the Tobago Updates Morning Show. Viewers, we want to thank you so much for your continued love and support and for continuing to choose Tobago Updates. All right, and at this point, we prepare to head on over to GMT, and just before that, we head on over to Tobago Notes.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning. Good morning.
It's a production of the Department of Information, Office of the Chief Secretary, Tobago House of Assembly. ePixel Studios is open for business. It's Tobago's first animation studio, recently launched under the Eco-Industrial Development Company of Tobago, EIDCOT, at the Cove Eco-Industrial and Business Park. Starting out with 10 workstations and a handful of talented local animators, the studio is a milestone in EIDCOT's mission to diversify Tobago's economy via the creative sector.
Our animators are trained, experienced in the field, and are ready to learn more about expanding the digital creativity that Tobago can and will soon offer. Providing a wide range of services, including but not limited to 2D and 3D animation, character design, storyboarding and development, motion graphics, and illustration.
As we harness, curate, and invite others to enjoy our unique Tobagoan stories and perspective, we will, as content creators, not as consumers, participate in an animation industry that online statistics estimate is valued at about $391 billion worldwide.
We have now an avenue through which our Tobagonians, especially our young Tobagonians, can tell authentic Tobago stories to the rest of the world. Because the stories we have to tell also possess within them universal themes that the world can latch on to. And certainly we can provide solutions to world issues through the stories that we tell. And so I'm happy that after launching of Tobago Trek on January 19th, just 4 days short of 6 months since, we are able to today launch a studio through which generations, plural, generations current and future, can come to this space.
That was a production of the Department of Information, Office of the Chief Secretary, Tobago House of Assembly.
Yeah. Hey. Tobago updates. Good morning, Tobago. Wake up with Candace and Denise here. Let's go. It's a brand new morning. Rise up to a brand new dawn.
Welcome to Good Morning Tobago on Tobago Updates, your source for current affairs in Tobago, Trinidad, and the region. With the perfect conversations to complement your morning routine, I am Candace Jackson, and let's get started with the news in 90 seconds.
The news in 90 seconds is brought to you by Flow, working for you on Tobago's newest fiber network.
The Tobago House of Assembly is seeking clearance to complete the Sherburne-Storby Local Connector Road in Friendship Estate. The court granted the Environment Management Agency an injunction to stop the construction of the road due to concerns about the Certificate of Environmental Clearance. The THA's attorney, Larry Lala, informed Justice Frank C. Prasad that the CEC application was submitted on July 17th. They are now awaiting EMA's approval to allow them to continue. The project is 90% complete and consists of a 2.5 single carriageway, 2 roundabouts, and a drainage system. Additionally, former Calypso monarch, Denise Plummer is alive and well, despite inaccurate reports on social media rumors. Her son, Jesse Bucock, confirmed her well-being and expressed disappointment with the media for spreading false information without verification from the family. Plummer is battling stage 4 cancer and undergoing treatment. And finally, the Maldives would no longer compete in the Commonwealth Youth Games, which will be held from August 4th to the 11th, 2023. This was revealed on Monday night by the country's Olympic Committee via a Facebook post calling the announcement regretful. The post said the country would no longer be participating due to financial constraints faced by the government and the Olympic Committee. However, the committee is still committed to developing and supporting local athletes. They will instead focus on the 2023 Indian Ocean Island Games. Trinidad and Tobago is currently preparing to host the Commonwealth Games. And that was the news in 90 seconds.
The news in 90 seconds is brought to you by Flow, working for you on Tobago's newest fiber network.
Tobago, after freeness is more speed and better TV. Get a free Samsung smartphone and free installation, plus 200 megabits per second, Paramount Plus, and more for only $299 with a select 200 plan from Flow. Visit online at discoverflow.co today.
Welcome back.